A few days ago, it was August 2nd, which marked my having been here in Japan for 10 months. Now there's only 2 months left. Now I'm way over doing videos like 2 months in Japan. Now it's 2 months left in Japan. And this, I mean, obviously just before I go back or just after I've gone back to Sweden, I will make a complete look back video and just kind of reflect on how it's all been and what I've done and what I haven't done and that kind of stuff. Now it's just going to be like sort of a taste of that because I'm feeling a little like the end is on the horizon. Definitely, I can have, even though I have 2 months left, it feels like I can start looking back a little bit. I'm just a taste of that, I guess. So you might say that like, oh, the time has gone so fast, you know. But really, it's been 10 months. It hasn't gone that fast, but on the other hand, it kind of has. But I've done so much that I can't say that it's gone fast because usually, well, I don't know. I feel both ways about it. But I've traveled a whole bunch. Been most places that I wanted to go, except one exception is the ski lodge place where Kamaitachi no Yoru was photographed. I guess not filmed because they didn't have any movie sections. I've wanted to go there, but and I still could technically. It's just I'm not going to because it's at this point I don't have enough money. I've spent, guess, more than 70% of my savings, and now I want to keep the last 30%, which is probably going to go down to like 25 before I move, because I can't keep a budget. It's not possible. In Sweden I could, I guess, but here I can't. Because I definitely overestimated how much money I would get every month from the student loan thing. I thought it would be like equivalent to a salary sort of, but it's not. After rent, I have like 60% of it left, and then I thought that maybe I could spend like 40% on food, and then the other 20% on just living, enjoying, you know, the rest. But then it turns out basically it's 60% on food, and then 20% I have to take from my savings. So basically, you know, it gradually goes down every month. I always have to take something out of my savings. But of course, buying a bunch of games doesn't help, but I don't regret buying a bunch of games. Although I do regret buying some of them, because I bought a bunch of games back when I was more new. I was like, oh, 950 yen is nothing. You know, it's like 65, 70 crowns or something, when a game is usually like 200 or something in Sweden, so it's like, it's really cheap anyway. But I bought a bunch of games on a whim. I didn't even look them up on YouTube or try in an emulator or anything, so I just got on a whim. It's like, I'll sell it if it's not fun. Selling it did not work out, because shipping from Japan is super expensive. I feel like, anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's expensive. So, like, sending one game at a time is just not worth it at all. So I bought a bunch of games that I ended up selling back to, like, a book off, and for, like, 1% of the worth or something. Like, it's a little annoying when I brought, like, a pile of stuff there, and I got, like, 1,200 yen or something, when I bought it for maybe, I don't know, 8,000 in total or something. So that I regret. I'm definitely satisfied with the studying. That when I got here, I had JLPT N4, which I was proud of getting the summer before, like a couple of months before I went here. And now I'm in the position where, when I came here in N4, I thought JLPT N2 was like impossible. It was just way out of reach. It's like, oh my god. Now it's within reach. So it's like, I'm not going to waste my money on doing N3 this December or next year, so I'm going to do N2 next year. And doing in school now, we're doing some grammar on this electable course thing. We're doing N2 grammar and vocabulary, and last term when we did that, I got like 65% or something, which is 60 is enough for a pass. The middle test we had recently, I got 75, so that's up. Of course, the reading is always hard. Now I'm doing listening, and it's going okay so far. So I definitely have a shot at especially if I take it next summer. Definitely have a shot to get like 70, 80% maybe. So, and besides that, when I play video games now all in Japanese, it goes a lot better. I don't have to look up as many kanji. I don't have to Google as many expressions and concepts and stuff that I don't understand. I still have to do it, of course. And when I read a game book, not necessarily a strategy guide, I'm a little bored of those now, honestly. And books related to games. I have to look up kanji. Maybe I have to of the kanji that turn up. Maybe I have to look up like 20% of them or 30% of them, which is way down from before. Before it was like 50, 60. On the other hand, if I try to read a newspaper or something that's not related to games, and where the vocabulary, the same kind of vocabulary repeats itself a little bit, then I'm back to 50, 60%. And when I watch a Japanese movie, all in Japanese, no subtitles, because they never have fucking subtitles on their own movies, which is annoying, because apparently they hate deaf people, I understand about half of it. And I definitely want to understand more. I still, a lot of times when they're speaking, just like, I just can't make out the words that they're speaking. Definitely not where I want to be, but I'm way better than when I came here. I wouldn't call myself fluent, but I'm definitely, when I got N4, I said I would call myself an advanced beginner. Now I would call myself a somewhat advanced intermediate, which is still good. And above, the next step is what really? Is that advanced student or fluent-ish? Or I don't know, but fluent is what I want to become. But fluent to me means more reading first, then listening, and then speaking. Because I can live without speaking. I just, pretty much I want to take in the stuff rather than give it out when it comes to languages. Right now I'm on summer vacation, which they have in Japan for some reason, 2 weeks off of school, even though we had 2 weeks a month ago, but whatever. I'm certainly not complaining. I got the Seishinju Hachikippu, the ticket where you have 5 days of free JR travel, but not any limited express. You have to go on regular trains, which are pretty slow. On the other hand, you can go on Shinkaisoku, which is one of those that skips a bunch of stops. So that's also fast. So why you're not allowed to go on limited express, but you can go on Shinkaisoku, which I don't know what I should translate that to exactly. I don't know, because they're kind of similar, honestly. It's just that the really limited express, that's like a special train that's more, definitely much faster and way more comfortable. So those you absolutely cannot take, obviously. But anyway, I spent 3 of the 5 days, really 2, but the third one was accidental. The first one I went to Ikaruga, which sounds like the game, so like, same kanji and everything. I went to Hikone, I went to Nagahama, it's up on the other side of Lake Biwa. And then I went down to Nagoya to have dinner, but with my friend in Nagoya. But because there was a typhoon coming, JR was being really skittish and just shut down all the trains, so I had to stay over at his place and go home the next day. And then when I went home the next day, they stamped me another day, so I lost a day that I was going to use later on. The third day, which was yesterday, I went to Kanazawa to look at the college where Shigeru Miyamoto went to. Yes, I am a nerd. And so those are 3 days. The next 2 are this weekend. I'm going to Yokohama there, number 4, going back number 5. On the way back, I'm stopping off in Shizuoka for a couple of hours, just because I wanted to say I've been in Silent Hill. Well, these 2 months that I have left, I have some stuff I still need to do and some stuff I have to cross out because I don't have enough money, or usually just money, but stuff that I kind of like, is that really that important? No, not really. One thing was that I wanted to go to the amusement park, Hirakata Park, where I went to the Mega Man thing back in winter, but just go there and just ride rides. But I already went to a Universal Studios park, so it's like, I don't really have to go to a second-rate park and spend like 3,000 plus yen. It's not really worth it. One thing I crossed out was getting I was going to get one of those rice lamps with like Shimayama Gumi put on it, like, because Shimayama is my, like the Japanese version of my Swedish name, and then Gumi has like the family, so it's like a Yakuza thing. I'm gonna skip that because that one of those lamps costs about 6,000 yen, what I could do is maybe if I find one in just a small one, like more like in tourist places you can find one, but they already have text on it. I want like a blank one, and then I could just get a brush and some really cheap paint and just kind of draw it myself, even though it would probably look terrible. But I could try that. I crossed out going to the Kamitachi Niori place, obviously. I've thought about maybe going to Himeji, which is one of those very beautiful castles, and Koga, which is like the place where ninjas came from, which is cool. But I don't have enough. I don't have, because of the day there. I can't go on the free ticket and going just paying it. I don't know if I want to do that. There's other stuff I forgot about, but stuff I'm still going to do is I'm going to Yokohama. I'm going to Tokyo Game Show. That's a big one. It's on it's the weekend before I move back, and what a way to round out this Japanese stay, right? So I got a ticket, and I'm gonna bring a bunch of games and my pen. If I see any game developers walking around like Hideo Kojima or Keiji Inafune or Shigeru Miyamoto, which is obviously the guy I want to meet the most in the whole wide world. But yeah, in general, I just want to be there. So that's going to be awesome. When school is over, I'm going to Tokyo for the last like 3 or 4 days before I move back. Maybe squeeze in another couple of game company visits if I have the time, because I've been to all the important ones. Now it's just a couple of small ones that I kind of maybe sort of want to go to, like Falcom or Inti Creates. That they're made up of old Mega Man developers, and they make Mega Man games, so maybe I should go there. Nintendo's Tokyo office, and Treasure is one I want to go to. One thing I have mentioned before, and I still think about, is the fact that I don't remember how long time had passed when I last mentioned it, but it's like, if I had to go back now, what would be my biggest regret? And one of them was like not going out on the street or whatever, on the bars and whatever, go out, talk to people, like forcibly sort of talk to people to practice conversation. And it's like, I guess I've given up on that pretty much, because like now I can't afford going to just a random bar. I don't really have the courage anyway, but then I don't think I should put money on that. So, wah. And getting a part-time job, which would help with the money, obviously, is not something I'm going to do either, because if I do get one, first of all, I still don't have a bank account. I'm not going to get one, and I can't get it because don't have one. I probably can't get a part-time job, and then I'm not going to get one anyway, because if I did get one, I wouldn't have time to study, because like if you miss doing homeworks, which you have like 2 or 3 of sometimes, if you miss one day, then you have like 6 or 7 the next day. So it's just not worth it. Unfortunately, because I would have been nice to get some money in, but now between now and when I go back, in August I'm just living, and in September I'm gonna have to start preparing for my trip back. I already started a little. I got another travel suitcase, and I got a baggage weight. What do you think we are, baggage handlers? I actually packed one of my bags too. Put half of my games in there pretty much, and the rest with clothes and some books, and it still weighs about 5 kilos from the limit, so that's encouraging, because the other half is about, I would assume, about the same. And then I could put 10 kilos in my backpack too, so I think it will be fine with weight, but maybe space will be the harder part. Another thing that is I don't really look forward to is all the stuff that I'm not going to bring with me. A bunch of stuff that I'm going to throw away. Because throwing away garbage is not easy in Japan at all. In Sweden, it's much preferred that you go to the... First of all, you can go to like a communal dump, pretty much, and just sort stuff and throw it away. Maybe you have to pay to get in, but still you can. Here's like, they have like a recycle center type place, but everything is so detailed. Of you can put this here and this here. It's like in Sweden we just have like you have the container for plastic, you have the container for furniture, you have the container for paper or and cardboard and glass and metal, and then you just kind of you take it by these wide categories. And here it's way more fine details, and that's really frustrating. And I don't know how to throw away half of this stuff. Like where I need to throw away like this big pile of old tests and stuff I've saved. I need to throw away like a big pile of DVD cases because to save space I took out all the covers and all the discs and put them in, and then I'm gonna buy new DVD covers when I get back to Sweden instead to save on space, which I think is clever. But then I have to throw away all the cases. I need to throw away my old pair of shoes. I need to throw away some clothing, because like this shirt here is like has, I don't know where it is right now, but it has holes along the it has holes along the armpit, and it has like a hole here and a hole here, and it's like I'm gonna throw this one away before I go home. How do you throw away clothes? I don't know. And I have like stuff like all my scissors and like random small bits of stuff that I'm probably gonna just give or sell for like 1 yen a piece or whatever it is for this recycle shop, which is like a second-hand junk shop, just to get rid of some stuff. But some stuff you just can't sell, you just want to throw away. But I'm gonna have to figure that out, and it's not gonna be fun. But anyway, yeah, still been a great 10 months, hoping for another nice 2 months. And then it's on the day I go back, it's going to be like but on the other hand, it's going to be a bit of a, I won't say a relief, but it's going to be a bit nice to go home. Sweden is my home. And even though I won't have a home, technically, it's going to be a little bit nice to go home, back where everything makes sense, more or less, and just kind of, I don't know, feels like I need to look for a job as soon as I get there, of course, but I hope, maybe I hope I don't get one immediately, because I want to digest everything and relax, sort of, which is, yeah, it sounds weird, but yeah, there's something like that I'm feeling. So yeah, end of video. I don't know how to end it, so